2, 3, and we're live.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Come on in and enjoy another session of Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light, where we break things down and make them so that we could use them in our everyday life. And so today, I want you to know if you share it out, whoever shared it out the most last week will win a wonderful reading with Bex Marie. And I will announce that at the end. And whoever shares it out this week will win a chakra cleansing session with Rhonda Elliott. So share it out, give us some hearts, and come in. We have Rhonda Elliott here. Bex Marie is on vacation. We're sending light and love to Bex. And today we have a wonderful guest, Keira Lani. And at the end, she's going to do an amazing meditation. So Rhonda, would you like to interview her today?
I will. Hello, Keira. How are you? And welcome to Spirit Sessions. We're so excited to have you here. In honor of that, I decided to be outside studio today. First, can you tell us about what Chi Qong is? Because we'd like to know. We know you have a show on Spirit Sessions. Tell us when it is and tell us what Chi Qong is, actually. That'd be great.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Teresa. It's such a pleasure to be here. And thank you for bringing us out into the trees, Rhonda. It's so beautiful. I really am loving all of your beautiful maple trees. And yes, so my show in the Akashic Academy is called Tree Gong. And Tree Gong is my name for my special practice that I've been developing. I actually discovered that I could connect with trees long before I learned Qigong. Qigong is a combination of tree connection and Qigong. And so the explanation of what it is pretty extensive. Because Qigong is an ancient Chinese self-healing practice that uses meditation, mindful movement, breath exercise, and self-massage to turn on the body's innate healing capacity. Qi is life force energy. Gong is discipline over time. So Qigong just means energy work. Tree Gong means working with the trees. And so,
Awesome.
yeah, I spontaneously communicated with a tree for the first time about 20 years ago. I always was a tree spirit. As a child, I would climb up the trees as high as I could go and just sit there and feel the tree moving with the breeze. I liked to be high enough in the tree that I could feel it moving, and
oh wow, yes.
and it felt like it could
cool.
take me on a journey. I felt like trees were my spaceship. I know it's kind of a funny concept because trees are so rooted, but I felt like they took me on a journey when I was a child, and
Yes.
now I still feel like they take me on a journey. The first tree that I connected with, the way that I connect them with now, showed me that they have a way of communicating planetary wide with all the trees, and they communicate. Scientists have shown that they communicate through their roots, and they connect with the mushrooms, the mycelial network. And I have experienced that they communicate energetically with no need of physical connection over oceans, over across the country. I recently was introduced to a beech tree in Georgia that I have never met before, and was able to share light language and healing with this beech tree in Georgia. So it's really exciting to me to share Tree Gong with other people, because what I've learned is that each individual person and each individual tree will have their own experience. So the
Wow.
connecting with trees, it's all about slowing down and listening. And it's the same kind of process that we use to get to know ourselves. Slow down and listen and receive the messages that come through, whether it's by connecting with trees, or I know Teresa uses
Yes.
the Akashic records, and that it's a similar process. Someone recently reflected to me that what I do with trees is similar to what we do when we go into the Akashic records, and it's all about slowing down,
Amazing.
going into a meditative state and finding what is available in that moment. And so Tree Gong is a constantly morphing practice of connecting with the energy of being a human with the energy of being a tree. And so it can be direct communication, it can be a physical connection, it can be an energy exchange, it can be a healing, a mutual healing. I find that trees benefit from us just as much as we benefit from trees if we are offering them a positive energy experience. And so I'm creating I create a weekly show to bring my tree experiences to Facebook Live. I also create live retreats where we go physically into the forests and connect with the trees. And I am just loving connecting with more people who love trees just as much as I love connecting with the trees themselves, in order to expand the awareness globally. That's my vision, is that people will reconnect to their roots through connecting with trees, will connect more strongly to their true self, their authentic being, their spirit. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Very
awesome.
cool. I just wanted to give a few, everybody's saying hello. They've jumped on, and there's lots of people with us live today. Hi, Monica, Santa Maria. Hi, Dallas, Cindy,
Hey, Dallas.
Tara. I'm just saying hello to everyone who's come on. Yeah, Tara says she loves giving Reiki to trees, and that's what I remember doing as well, giving Reiki to
Oh,
trees,
wow.
and they give back much more than you take. The trees have Akashic records too, I think, and
Yes.
it's a really good way to get grounded. I just, well, I'm a tree girl too. That's all I can say. Hi, Kat. Again, if you guys want to like and share this out, you win a chakra clearing session with me, and at the end of the show, Teresa will announce who won last week. When you say you communicate with them, Keira, now you hear from them. So is that voices in your head, or do you get pictures, or how do they communicate with you? Like when you talk about communication, I know everybody gets different, but I'm just wondering about you. How do you hear from them? And also give us the day that your show's on and the time, so we can tell.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. So, okay, so I don't forget, my show on the Akashic Academy is on Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, or wherever you are in the world, you'll have to connect it that way. And each week on my show, I share a message from a different tree. So I have started going and finding trees, connecting with them and asking them specifically for a message for my Akashic Academy community, which is anybody that comes and
That's
joins in the
special.
show. And so they're
That's
not,
special. Yeah.
so I receive messages for me, but I'm actually asking the trees, do you have a message for this community that I'm a part of? And so it becomes a communal
Awesome.
message. And each week I bring 3 of the trees into the awareness of the community. So if you see my posts ahead of time, you can vote on which tree you want to hear from. So once you connect to the show, then you'll have the opportunity to vote for the next week's tree. And
Okay.
so this week I have three amazing trees that we will either be hearing from: a coastal pine, or
Wow.
a um, a giant 500-year-old spruce tree, or now my brain is forgetting what the third tree was on my list. This is really bad. I know all these trees, but I have so many trees on my list. I forget which one was for this week. But there's one other one.
It's
It
like
may
having
come
too
back
many
to
children.
me. It is like having too many children.
You
That's
can't
so
get that
funny.
one's name out that
So
you need to at that point in time.
yeah,
So when they give you the message, does it just sort of come like a channel, like you write it down, or do you hear them, or like do they give you
yeah,
pictures
yeah.
or?
It's interesting because it's different with different trees. So it's usually either images or coming through like thoughts. I feel like when the words come through, it's my brain translating, because I don't feel like the trees actually speak to me in English. I feel like they speak to me in images and feelings, and then it comes through as thoughts. But I
Ah.
definitely have gotten all of these things: feelings, images, and I noticed, it's interesting. I noticed that sometimes I jump too quickly to translate the images. I have one particular story that's coming to mind. I was at a Qigong retreat in the mountains of California, in southeastern California, and I went on a walk by myself, and I was doing a Qigong meditation walk. So I was very much in meditation, and I felt called to visit a certain cedar tree. And as I walked up to the tree, I noticed that it had some scarring of burn marks, black marks on its bark.
Oh.
And so I knew that it had been in a fire, but I was just kind of wanting to connect with the tree, and I connected with the tree, and another tree connection came into my mind where a tree had said, "You have to tell our story." And so I asked this cedar tree, "Do you also want me to tell this story?" And the tree was immediately, "That's not my story." And I said, "Well, will you tell me your story?" And the tree started sharing images with me, and it was like swirling colors, and I could see in the image, I could see silhouettes of different trees all around, and swirling red, swirling between them, and swirling colors. And I thought, oh, this tree is sharing its connection with its brothers and sisters all around, and that's so sweet. And then the images stopped coming, and I was like, okay, the tree's done communicating, and I walked away, and then I felt drawn to go down off of the path I was taking, and I found myself in the middle of a patch of charcoal where a tree had burned to the ground. And I turned around and I looked back at the way I had walked, and I could see the burn patterns were in the shapes that the tree had shown me. And so the tree was
Oh.
showing me a story of a fire burning down the tree friends in the forest. And
Oh.
the tree even seemed to realize that I wasn't understanding, and led me down the trail so that I could see what I was being shown. And then in that
Oh.
moment,
Wow.
this hawk flew over directly to the tree I had been communicating with, and turned around and flew back. And it was almost like
Oh.
the hawk was saying, okay, now you got the message. And
Wow.
so,
That's
so
awesome.
yes,
Pretty
so
cool.
it's different every time, and sometimes they do have a message. And when I ask for the messages for the Akashic Academy, they do come through in words and thoughts into my, not sounds. I wouldn't say I hear voices. It's more like the words come through the way that the thoughts come into our head when we're thinking. It's like so hearing in that sense of hearing thoughts, but not in the sense of hearing auditory sounds. But it's very interesting. The more that I connect with people and share with them, the more I realize how many different ways there are to communicate with trees. And some people get names for trees, and that is nothing that. And I have been told by several trees that I don't need to have names for them, and even and so I feel like trees communicate with whoever they're communicating with. They communicate with them how they're going to most readily receive the message. This is the belief that I'm coming to. The more different people I work with, the more I realize that each individual tree and each individual person will have their own experience. And some trees, just like as humans, we have a stronger connection with different humans than others. Just for whatever reason, this person resonates with me. I want to communicate with them. They have something to share with me. It's the same with the trees. Like I could go and visit a tree and it has nothing to say to me, and then Teresa comes to visit and it's like, oh, hey, here you are. So
Yeah,
it's really
I have talked to a
interesting.
tree before.
Well, I
It
certainly
was
hug
neat.
them.
It was making fun of me.
I've had
Oh,
trees make fun of me too. I had one tree that this is actually along the lines of what I was saying about how they have told me that they don't need names.
Oh,
I visited a tree in Hawaii one time, and my I my teacher there, I was at a Qigong retreat, and my teacher was telling us how much he loves the eucalyptus trees and not
oh
the
yeah.
Moldavi trees, and I was kind of like, well, why not the Moldavi trees? Those are the ones that were here first. And so I went and I visited this tree, and I wasn't sure if it was a Moldavi tree. I knew it wasn't a eucalyptus tree. And so I was visiting it, and I could feel that it was feeling left out. And so I wanted to give it some energy. And then I said, what kind of tree are you? What's your name? And the tree just laughed at me. I could feel it laughing, and it was like, oh, you silly human, always needing to name everything. I'm just me. I'm a tree.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
because even though there are certain species, they all have their own experience, just like a human. Like we're all different individuals, but we all have our own experience. Even though we belong to the human race, we also belong to certain cultures. And I'm just wondering, a forest is kind of a culture on its own. There's so many different trees that belong with each other. And I know from the science part, doing the forestry stuff that I do, that they'll communicate if there's a pest infestation. And so the first trees may get it and be attacked, but by the time the tree starts making its way through the forest, the trees are already reacting to that pest. So, people go, oh, talking to trees, that's so silly, but they talk to themselves. They have such wisdom, and we don't know what we don't know, is what I always say. We don't know what we
Yes.
don't know. So I don't make,
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I think there's,
absolutely. The trees are definitely communicating with each other, and that has been shown scientifically. We were talking about the pests. It makes me think of the acacia trees in Africa. They do that with the giraffes. If the giraffes are coming and eating their leaves, then they warn each other, hey, giraffes are coming, and then the trees start putting out a toxin, and then the
Oh,
giraffes won't eat them because and then they'll have to go like a mile or more to the trees that haven't been warned yet before they can
oh
eat
wow.
more acacia leaves.
oh, because
Yeah.
they've become too bitter or something
Amazing.
for the trees. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's super. Yeah, and I know what you mean about the energy, because as you were talking about the trees behind me, I could feel like the subtle pressure on the back of my head as
Yeah.
they're behind me, because I know
Hmm.
these
Yeah.
guys are all listening. They're all listening. They're
Yes,
all up here.
they
They
are.
are. They are
Yeah.
listening, and I feel like they're really appreciating that we're taking the time to honor them and bringing them into our communication. And I can definitely feel that those trees are lit up by this idea that we want to bring them into our community. And I feel like it's so important. It's important for our health as humans to connect with nature because we really are part of nature, and we separate ourselves sometimes and we connect through this technology. And so the technology is wonderful. So why not use it to help us return to our nature by bringing the trees in? And the trees are receiving benefit too because they are also part of our nature, and we are all part of the same life here on earth. And that life force energy that I spoke of, the chi, it isn't something that flows through humans. It's something that flows through all life that we can connect with as humans and bring in. And the trees are also carrying chi, and of course all life forms, and even out into the universe. And so the trees recognize that we carry energy and that our energy is moving differently than the trees' energy. So we can actually benefit the trees just by being around them, just like the trees are benefiting us by being around us. And the more that we deepen that connection, the more beneficial it is to all life. And then there's also the opportunity to learn and expand our awareness towards just creating a better life for everyone here on the planet, whether you're a human or a tree or a dog or a bird or whatever manifestation of life is coming
Speaking of
through.
that, could you do that? You were going to share with us a little meditation um,
Or a healing.
or a healing with us if you have time. And we've got 5 minutes or so. Can you give us a little sample of what you do? And I may just move out of the sun so I don't die here.
I see
All
her in the
right.
sun.
Yeah, the sun has come out from behind my friends, the trees, so I have to move.
Yeah.
So if
Okay.
you want to give us a little, and then we'll talk before you go. We'll talk about just you have some courses and some events. So there, I'm just going to move.
Yeah,
Ooh,
absolutely.
nice
Okay.
spot.
So if you want to give us a little sample of some meditative work. Sorry, everyone. There. Now I can see you.
Absolutely. I would love to. All right. So I'm going to ask if you're sitting that you have your feet flat onto the floor or the earth. You can also do this meditation standing. We do a lot of standing meditation in Chi Qong, and one of the versions of Tree Gong is just to stand like a tree. And so you can have your eyes open if you like, or closed. If you keep your eyes open, just soften your gaze. We call this in Qigong yin eyes, where you're not focusing too much, just letting your gaze be soft. Or you can close your eyes if that feels right to you in this moment. And touch in with your breath. Breathe down into the lowest part of your belly, expanding the belly with the breath. And with the exhale, relax, relaxing the shoulders. Feel a flowing down. Imagine a smile is melting down the front of your body from the top of your head, like warm oil flowing down your face, over your chest, down over the belly, the fronts of the legs, all the way down through the feet into the earth. breathing deeply. Now imagine another smile melting down the back of your body, all the way down the back of the head, the back of the neck, flowing over the shoulders, down the back, the hips, the backs of the legs, all the way down into the earth. And then a third smile melts down the center, the brain, the throat, the lungs and heart, digestive organs and reproductive organs, all the way down through the bones of the legs, the centers of the feet, and into the earth. Imagine this warm oil just spreading out, melting into the earth. Now imagine roots growing down from the core of the pelvis, the centers of the feet, down into the core of the earth. Like the roots of a tree, they grow down as deep as you are tall and as wide as you could reach your arms out to the sides. And now with another deep breath, draw energy up through your roots into the core of your body and imagine yourself cradled in this healing earth energy. It's like the golden glow of sunset enfolding you, this golden healing earth energy. Allow it to go wherever in your body you need some extra healing. Imagine you are like a tree and you are drawing energy from the earth and sending it through your trunk, through your branches. Now imagine that you also, like a tree, can receive energy from the sun. Feel it bathing you from above and feel it expanding your inner light. Imagine these energies from above and below are swirling together in your belly. Imagine in the center of your belly you have a sunshine, your inner light, and it's spinning faster, glowing brighter, and shining out in all directions. Take 3 more deep breaths into the core of the body. And with each exhale, imagine that light is growing even brighter until it's shining out all around you. It's offering your precious gift to the world, and it's calling in the beings that will most support you growing even brighter. Another deep breath into your core. Another exhale, shining out. One more deep breath, and this time reach your arms wide as if gathering energy from all around. And as you exhale, shine it down onto yourself, receiving healing in the crown, the face, the throat, all the way down into the belly, and then send it back into the earth one more time in gratitude for this opportunity to receive healing, in gratitude for this opportunity to share energy with the beautiful trees, the earth, and the heavens. Let's do that one more time. Deep breath. Ah, it feels so good. Receive that healing energy from the universe. As you return, opening the eyes, keep that feeling of deep healing and relaxation. Thank you.
So beautiful. Rhonda, I don't hear you.
Is Rhonda talking?
Yeah, I'm talking now. Sorry. I just thank you, Keira, very much for that. It was beautiful. And I just want to remind you all before I hand you over to Teresa for the announcements that your show is on Tuesday, 1:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, and that all the links for her, where you can get in touch with her, join her Facebook page, are in our post. So just check it out. She has events this week, even today. I think you have a free event today or tomorrow.
Yes, today it will be at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern Time here on Facebook Live. It's going to go up in my page, Inner Synergy, but it will probably also show up on my personal page, Keira Lani. And this is going to be a 30-minute class, and it's going to be all about clearing your energy. So if there's something that you're ready to let go of, then please come and join me and learn an energy clearing practice. It's going to be really fun.
Great. So Teresa, could you give us our last announcements? I think everyone really, she felt so much energy from that.
I hear feedback on me, so I'll try to be quick. I wanted to tell you guys, during your meditation, I saw a unicorn coming in, and then as we were doing this with our arms, I was seeing blue fairies and blue butterflies coming in, and they're bright and shining. It was really neat. So thank you for that experience. It was beautiful. Right after our show at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Nourish Your Multidimensional Body with the wonderful host, Kathy Homeyer. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, we have the Cosmic Ascension Report with Janelle Cameron. And that is always so amazing, and you don't want to miss that. And we have a YouTube page for Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light, and you could look that up and know that at the Akashic Academy, we're always doing amazing shows. And you can join our secret group for $11.11 and receive even more teachings from Emily and Coach Nick and full moon and new moon ceremonies. There's just so much going on there. And we develop our intuitive skills, and we listen to Emily channeling from the Galactic Federation. There's just so much fun to be had. So, are you guys ready to find out who's the winner of who shared our show out the most? First of all, whoever shares the show out most this week wins a chakra clearing with Rhonda Elliott, and this is something you don't want to miss. Talk about aligning and clearing your chakras. That sets you up so that you can healing and manifesting. But who won this week won with Bex Marie, a divinely intuitive, well, you know her page, Divinely Intuitive Guidance with Bex Marie. Okay, now Bex is amazing with what she brings through. So who won? Christy Warnick. You won, Christy. So when Bex gets back from vacation, you'll have to hook up with her and receive one of her amazing, amazing readings. And so I think that's all the announcements I have.
And next week we have, yeah. Oh, and who's on next week with Four Spirits?
Yeah, isn't it Jamie Price next week?
It's Jamie Price next week, yeah.
Jamie Price. I found her on YouTube, and she does light language too, and it's really, really beautiful. And so we're going to have her on as a guest next week, Jamie Price.
Thank you, Keira. And did you just want to tell everyone again about your course that's coming up as well? You've got a free event today, but the course is sort of a...
Yes, absolutely. So the free event today is kind of an introduction so you can see how I work. And then starting on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, August 8th, I have a 9-week course. I have an amazing group joining me for this course, but there is still room for more. And this is an energy cultivation training. So over the course of the 9 weeks, we are going to go through learning how to gather energy, how to circulate energy, how to store energy, how to transform energy, how to dissolve in the energy and connect to your highest purpose. And so it's an opportunity to learn self-healing practices that are the foundation for then learning to offer healing to others. It's so important that we heal ourselves and learn these energy cultivation practices that for me have created deep joy as well as comfort in my own body and releasing pain and suffering. I have opened up to an incredible connection to my spirit that brings me joy regardless of outside circumstances. So I want that for everyone. So if you feel
Yeah, I
called
can't wait.
to join me, Teresa is going to join me for this course. It's so exciting. And
Yes.
so if you feel called to join me, please reach out to me on Facebook and we can have a conversation. And there's also an event page, so you can look at it there. I believe Rhonda has posted the event for you all to check it out. And so you can message me from there as well. And thank you so much, Rhonda and Teresa. This has been
Thank
so
you.
wonderful to
And Bex,
join you.
thanks you
And
too.
oh, and thank you to Bex too. And thank you to the beautiful maple trees for being a part of our
Yeah.
show today. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
we
Rhonda, for
they're
bringing your
happy to
friends.
see you all.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I don't know where we got the echo, but I think they're just kind of coming in. So it's good. Thank you again. Blessings, everyone. Tree blessings.
Tree blessings.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste. Look.
Did she turn it off? I will stop broadcasting then.